Good morning, one and all. Welcome to our club Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs, and this is meeting number 52. I am your Sergeant at Arms, Milind Arora. I know a few new people are here and they must be wondering why it is good morning. So there is a Hindi phrase, Jab Jago Tab Savera. So you have awakened souls. Come join the Toastmaster program to learn something and make better of yourself. Thank you so much for joining. So I will start the meeting by stating the mission of our club. Mission of our club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication skills and leadership skills. The values of Toastmaster program are respect, integrity, service, and excellence. So let us exhibit all these values while being part of the Toastmasters activities. All Toastmasters in the virtual room, I request you raise your right hand, keep it on the heart. When I complete reading the promise, you say, I do at the end. I promise to attend club meetings regularly to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive and friendly environment necessary for all the members to learn and grow, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to our club meetings so they can see the benefits of Toastmaster program, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational programs and activities, and to act within the Toastmasters core values, which is integrity, respect, service, and excellence during all the Toastmaster activities. I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you so much, one and all. So there are some basic rules of every meeting, not only the Toastmaster meeting, but specifically to Toastmaster, and I call them golden rules, which are as follows. Please turn off all your noise-making devices, and I give you 5 seconds to do so. I hope you have done your part. I have done mine. Thank you so much. Please clap whenever the control is transferred to other persons virtually on the stage, and you can even use the virtual emoticons present in the Zoom. Please check for your audio and video connection before you start speaking. Request you to stay muted if it is not your role or it's not your part because that distracts the speaker. And if you face any technical glitch in the Zoom meeting, you can call or talk to a Zoom master, which is as usual, TM Raghu. Please refrain from speaking on sex, politics, and religion in any derogatory manner. Thank you all, and I transfer the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Kalpana.
Check, check. Am I audible? Good evening, one and all. Change is the only constant thing which will always help you to become better version of yourself. Whatever you were from yesterday, if you want to change, you have to adapt the changes to the environment. We all know before pandemic, we were never understanding that life would have changed our thinking. Life would have changed that just by sneezing or seeing someone sneezing, we could get sick. We learned and adapted, and here we are successfully gone through the pandemic. Similarly, when we are learning, when we are ready to adapt the changes, we are always trying to add something better to ourselves, a better version of ourselves than what we were yesterday. And XCOM leadership roles are similar to that. I still remember my first Sergeant at Arms role, where I was not at all interested to take Sergeant at Arms, but today I like the role than any other role in the XCOM. Today is a very important day. Before I give the control to this wonderful woman, I want to tell you a small story behind my introduction to her. I joined Toastmasters in 2020, January, and in those days, we used to have all in-person meetings, and we had something called division contest going on. And I saw a very beautiful looking lady who was dressed up completely traditionally in white sari in Bengali style. And I was really stunned the way she was confident. She was talking everything. And I asked my mentor that, who is this lady? And then I got to know that she is Toastmaster Smita. Since then, I always look up to her with a lot of respect and regards. I'm sure she must be younger to me, but I know she is very knowledgeable, and she always embraced me with lot of energy whenever I went to her, let it be a club leadership role or any issue. I have gone to her, and I always, after talking to her, I came out with lot of energy to handle things much more positive way than what I used to think. So let me welcome this wonderful lady for the installation today, distinguished Toastmaster Smita Mishra.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kalpana. This is a very unexpected introduction, but I'm so glad that I have been interacting with you and Raghu, of course, and I've had the pleasure of visiting this club on previous occasions as well. And thank you so much for inviting me to be part of such a monumental day for the club as well. The club installation ceremony of newly elected ExCom officers is, of course, a very critical event for any club. And at the outset, congratulations for conducting the elections well in time and ensuring that you are giving your newly elected officers the due time that would be needed for transitions, for preparations, and for a smooth transition and handover for the next 6 months. So having said that, let's get quickly started. May I request the following outgoing ExCom officers to please come on video, and Zoom Master, if you could please spotlight them. Outgoing President, Kalpana Chandika. Outgoing Vice President, Education, Raghu. Vice President, Membership, Sonia Cholwar. Vice President, Public Relations, Siva. Treasurer, Saurabh Agrawal. Secretary, Raghu. And Sergeant at Arms, Milind Arora. Thank you all for all your hard work and for all the efforts that you've put in supporting your club in this past term. I now announce that you are discharged from all further duties and responsibilities as officers of club number 7833894, Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs. Can we have a round of applause for the outgoing ExCom? Great job, everybody. All right, let's move on. I am here to install the officers of club number 7833894, Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs, for the term of 1st Jan 2022 till 30th of June 2022, and to prepare them for challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenge is to make this club strong and dedicated to helping people from all walks of life to listen with sensitivity, think creatively, and speak in an effective manner. As I briefly describe the responsibilities of each officer, I will ask them to place their hand on their chest, right hand on their chest, symbolic of holding the gavel as a symbol of leadership. As I describe the responsibilities, and once the oath is read, I request the officer to please respond by saying, I will. Zoom Master, as I call on each incoming club officer, request you to please spotlight them. Starting with Toastmaster Indira Reddy as the incoming Sergeant at Arms.
Hello, good evening, everybody.
We can remove everybody else. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Zoom Master. Toastmaster Indira, the duties of the Sergeant at Arms are to reserve the meeting space with proper authorities, making sure all supplies and materials are displayed at meetings, greet guests and members, and call the meeting to order at the scheduled time. Considering meetings are now happening online or hybrid, I assume that your responsibilities will adapt for the same. Please place your right hand on your chest. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you. Zoom Master, requested to please spotlight Toastmaster Anto. Toastmaster Anto John, the duties of the treasurer are to collect dues from the members, send the dues and the membership renewal reports to Toastmasters International, and pay the club's expenses. Can you please place your right hand on your chest? Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you. Zoom Master, please spotlight Toastmaster Amit. Toastmaster Amit, the duties of the secretary are to keep an accurate record of the members, submit the officer list to Toastmasters International after the election, and keep the club charter, constitution, bylaws, and minutes. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. Zoom Master, can we please spotlight Toastmaster Sonia?
Yeah.
Toastmaster Sonia, the duties of the Vice President Public Relations are to promote the club to the local media, spread the word about membership programs, and attend Toastmasters events. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. Zoom Master, if you could please spotlight Toastmaster Saurabh. Thank you. Toastmaster Saurabh Agarwal, as the Vice President membership, your duties are to conduct ongoing membership building programs, explain the educational program to prospective members, and ask them to join and follow up on new members and absent members. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. Zoom Master, please spotlight Toastmaster Siva.
Education. Abdul Rehman.
I'm sorry, is the education? Okay, my apologies. Toastmaster Abdul Rahman. The duties of the Vice President Education are to plan successful meetings to help members achieve their educational goals, orient new members to the Toastmasters program as soon as they join, and monitor members' progress. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability? Toastmaster Abdul, you're on mute.
I will.
Thank you. Let's spotlight Toastmaster Siva. Thank you. Toastmaster Siva Indraganti, having been elected the president of Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs, you are its chief executive officer and will be expected to preside at all club meetings and at all regular and special meetings of the executive committee. It is your challenge to see that this club enables its members to achieve their educational goals. It's also your challenge to see that your club helps the area, division, district, and Toastmasters International to meet their goals. Please accept a virtual gavel as a symbol of your leadership and dedication to office. The gavel is a symbol of the power and authority given to you by the membership of this club. Use it wisely and with restraint. You are a member of your team and a leader. A team is more than a collection of people. It's an emotional force rooted in the feelings, thoughts, and actions of all members with the common goal of achievement, sharing, and mutual support. Work with your team members to create a healthy, dynamic club, a club of which everyone will be proud. Will you, as president, accept this challenge and perform the duties to the best of your ability?
Sure. I'll accept this challenge. I perform my duties to my best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siva. It is now my pleasure to declare these Toastmasters installed into their respective offices. Before we spotlight everyone, I would like to address the club at this point. The growth and development of the Toastmasters program in Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs Club depends largely upon the actions of this group, which is the rest of the club. On your honor as members of Toastmasters, do you pledge to individually and collectively stand by this club, live with it, and work with it through the coming term? You can respond with
We will.
We will.
We will.
Yes, we will.
Thank you. Toastmaster Raghu, may I please request you to spotlight all the newly installed Club XCOM officers?
Sonia, can you start your video? Yeah, we'll just take 5 more minutes and I want to take a screenshot as well.
Please. Everybody smile.
Can everybody give their best smile? Cheese. Thank you. One more, 1 minute. Can you take a screenshot of everybody in the room? If possible, please keep your video on.
Smile is fading, Raghu.
Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you. So congratulations to all the newly installed officers. Can we have a big round of applause for all of them? Congratulations. The installation ceremony is officially over. I do extend my congratulations to all of you. And the 8th member of your XCOM is the immediate past president, that is Toastmaster Kalpana. And she will be the guiding light for all of you in the coming term. So whenever you have any challenges or any questions or doubts, please do reach out to the IPP so that she can be that beacon and that light to guide you. Now that the installation is over, I would like to invite Toastmaster Siva, the incoming president, to give his address.
Good evening, everyone. Special thanks to Toastmaster Smita for taking out time and be here for this installation ceremony for the Hyderabad Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs. Thank you once again, Smita, for your time. Thank you one and all for being on time here to accepting our roles and accepting the challenge for the next term. We as a team, we improves the quality of the club and follows the basic rules of Toastmasters, which is respect, integrity, service, and excellence, which help us to grow for the further step and each other, whoever the role it may be, or whatever the problem it may be. All the EC team will be there, or every individual will pitch in to address each other. Maybe today I am in one role, other person was in another role. If he was struggling with something, the one who is already experienced, for example, one of our executive committee member already did the membership. Now she was VP PR, so she will pitch in to help her the VP membership for this time if he or she was in a tough time. So everyone will be work as a team, a group, as a single point, and will help our club to grow further in our club area and then division and go on. So let us hope we'll have a good tenure in the next 6 months, accepting all the challenges, sharing the good things, and grow each other from each and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siva. I'll hand it back to the presiding officer to take the meeting forward.
It should be
Giving
me.
Smita some words of wisdom from you.
Okay. I know that was supposed to be on the agenda. I thought somebody's going to call me on for that. All right. So I'll not take a lot of your time, considering I think we're already running a little behind on the schedule as well. When Raghu asked me that you should give a little bit of a keynote speech, I always kind of recoil a little bit, because then it usually becomes a Gyan session and then people don't really enjoy that much. So I'm going to keep my message very simple and straightforward, and something which I have been diligently using for the last 6 years of being part of Toastmasters. When I started my leadership journey, I was hardly 3 months into Toastmasters. Within the 3rd month of being a member, I decided to challenge myself and pick up Sergeant at Arms as the first role of my XCOM journey. At that point of time, of course, a lot of people thought that Sergeant at Arms is such a small role, and it's the smallest of roles in the XCOM, and it was often looked down upon. But very quickly, I realized it was really not the case. Every single role in the XCOM is a very, very critical role. There is immense learning in every role that you experience, if only you have the desire to learn. So Toastmasters International leadership roles teaches you as much as you want to learn. If you kind of close yourself, then every role will feel like a burden. And you know what they say, right? If you do what you love, then it doesn't feel like a job anymore. So having said that, personally, I stick to 3 P's, which have become my pillar stones. And if you know me or have known me, I love doing acronyms a lot. Most of my journey is kind of based on acronyms. So the 3 P's that I like to talk about is passion, purpose, and pride. The first thing is passion. We are all passionate to be speakers. Leadership is something that it kind of comes a little awkwardly to us. Not everybody embraces leadership openly, but think of this as another area of passion that you can build on. And when it becomes an area of passion, your role becomes easier to do. You feel more driven, because ultimately you are trying to leave behind a legacy for the role that you're doing and for the club that you're a part of. When you start feeling that passion for the work that you're doing, you will start feeling a purpose. The purpose is to bring laurels to your club. It is to build a legacy on top of what has been happening for the last 1 year in your club or more, and to basically provide that opportunity for future leaders to walk in your footsteps. That's why purpose is important. And last but not least is pride. When you figure your passion and your purpose as to why you're part of this club, why you're part of this XCOM, and why are you taking a particular leadership role, that will help inculcate pride in what you do. You will feel proud of your accomplishments, your club's accomplishments, each other's accomplishments, and on a whole, you will be there as a champion for each other to be better and to do better for the club. For me personally, it's always been club before self. I've always put the best interests of the club before my own interests. And that is what has helped me grow as an individual, as a person, as a leader in these last 6 years. So I will leave you with this thought. Always think about your passion, purpose, and pride, and that will take you one step closer to being a more confident and more fantastic leader. I hope this message stays with you, and I hope, Raghu, this is what you are looking for. I wish all of you best of luck and all my sincerest wishes that this club keeps growing more and more under the able leadership of this new XCOM committee. All the best, and I'll hand it back to you, Toastmaster of the Day or Presiding Officer, whoever wants to take it up.
Thank you, Smita, for wonderful words of wisdom that that helps us to uh, learn more and grow more for the next 6 months. Thank you for that. Now let us moving forward.
Yeah,
We'll start
thank
with
you. I'm just sorry to interrupt Shiva in between.
yeah,
So
sure,
can you
sure.
also invite DTM Saurabh Tiwari
Yeah, sure,
some words of wisdom? Let
sure.
me introduce a little bit about this person before I invite. He was my first mentor, and I love killing two people across the world, DTM Smita and DTM Saurabh. I learned a lot under the mentorship of these both, and I'm happy to be mentored by them because that has ensured the quality of the speeches that I give or the leadership that I'm taking up roles across the world. Let me invite DTM Saurabh Tiwari, who is also area director from District 18. So just give some words of wisdom before we move into the actual part of the meeting. Suggest yourself.
Thank you so much, Raghu. Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
All right. So I was not expecting this. It is a surprise. All I can say is there are a lot of people, and then we have the new EC team coming in. Already, Smita has said all the great things that even I have learned in this community. It's very simple. Do your best and keep the club as priority. I believe these titles, whether you are president, you are area director, or you are something else, are just roles and they are all temporary. Today you are a president, another 6 months and you will be nowhere in this role. Maybe you will play some other role or you will not play in any other role in EC. But all the good work that you are going to do will remain in the heart of people for whom you are going to work, right? So always see the services that you are providing to the club and the people of the club are priority. And the more you will do a selfless job to benefit the club and the members of the club will remain forever. That is not temporary at all. This is the actual leadership without the title. When you have the title, feel good that you have got the respect, the trust of the people. And that's what Smita was also calling out the third P, that is pride. So I feel happy when I get the love, the support, and the trust of my team. And then all I do is the best that I can do back for them. And I believe that is where I have been successful in my life. Today, I have no role in my club, but I have all the support. This is how you not only provide services to the other, it is another way to make yourself benefit from all the good things that you are doing because they are practices. All the theory that we talk, Smita has said a lot, I am talking a lot, and you will go to anyone else. Everyone has got their own type of leadership, their own learnings, their own, takeaways. Everything that we speak is verbal, is a theory. The moment you convert your theories into practical, it becomes hands-on experience, which is really difficult to forget or to get out of it. So do practice. Practice what you preach and try to be good every day. Try to be better and serve better to the members of the club every time you get an opportunity. Don't expect results so early. Sooner or later, it will come. And the moment it will come, you will realize you have been the actual leader, the leader by heart, the leader by the trust of the people, not the leader by titles. That's where you will realize you have played a role in the XCOM, in the club, and this role was a great opportunity that you will never forget in your lifetime. Thank you so much. All the very best once again to Shiva and each one of you. And looking forward to see you doing great in your roles. Thank you so much. Back to you, Raghu.
Thank you very much, Saurabh. Control is yours, Shiva. Sorry to interrupt.
Thank you, DTM Raghu. As we know, our DTM Saurabh is very good at his table topics. The same time, unexpectedly, he was asked to speak, but wonderfully spoken, and good insight for us to take more. Moving forward to our regular meeting, let me invite our Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting. Uh,
Amit.
Currently, he is working as a software engineer in Amazon organization. He has keen interest in understanding business use cases of wonderful companies, which help him in building his own business in future. Let me invite Toastmaster Amit Kumar to take the meeting further. Over to you, TMoD, Toastmaster Amit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siva, for the warm introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. So, let me first proceed with for the benefit of the guest. I would like to first explain the structure of the today's meeting. The meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first round, what we call is prepared speech, where members will be delivering speeches based on their project that they have chosen. The second session is fun-filled the table topic round, where members can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. The third and the final round, final session is like evaluation round, where all the prepared speech as well as the other aspect of the meeting will be evaluated by speech evaluator and our tag team. So having said that, let me first invite our tag team, that is timer, aha counter and grammarian role for today. So for today's meeting, Toastmaster Indira will be timer. So Toastmaster Indira is enthusiastic Toastmaster from Telangana. She is passionate about designing clothes. Her hobbies include traveling, dancing, and cooking. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Indira for explaining the timer role. Over to you, Toastmaster Indira.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, my role is to remind all speakers how much time they spent on their speech so that we will run this meeting on time. To help me to this, I have 3 colored cue cards with me. I will raise cards for red, green, yellow, red. So prepare speeches 5 to 7 speech. So 5 minutes, I will raise the green card, 6 minutes yellow card, 7 minutes red card. Evaluations for 2 to 3 minutes, 2 minutes for green and 2 minutes 30 seconds yellow, 3 minutes for red. And table topics, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 1 minute for green, 1 minute 30 seconds yellow, and 2 minutes for red. And thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Indira, for explaining the timer role. Next, our role player is Toastmaster Milind, playing a counter role. So to talk about Toastmaster Milind is from Allahabad, UP, but is currently staying in Bangalore from last 9 years. He is working professional with total 11 years of experience. His friends used to call him lamppost or Amitabh Bachchan as he is too tall. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Milind, Urf Chhora Ganga Kinare Wala. Toastmaster Milind, over to you.
Thank you, TMoD Amit Kumar. That was little hilarious. I mean, my friends call me lamppost. They call me even camel, because that's how I am tall is. So I'm the counter for today's meeting, and the purpose of our counter is to note down all the crutch words, or we can call filler words, which we use while we are speaking, like so, and other words, and even these long pauses which we take. So I will be counting all those filler words, and I will present my report whenever called upon by our general editor. Thank you so much. Over to you, TMoD.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Milind. Coming to our next role, that is grammarian. Today we have Toastmaster Namita from Pune. She is playing grammarian role. So she is a passionate engineer and a keen artist. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Namita to explain their role. Over to you, Toastmaster Namita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. So my role is to keep tabs on good uses, good phrases, and usage of the word of the day and idiom of the day. I'd like to share my screen here. Can you please allow participant sharing screen?
Be able to do now?
I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Just a minute. All right. Can you let me know if you can see my screen?
Stop sharing, Amita.
Right.
Yeah, now we can.
You can see.
So the word of the day is assertive, which means to behave confidently. When she was asking for promotion, she was very assertive in the way she portrayed her skills. Putting someone in a spot is the idiom of the day. To put someone in a spot is to put someone in a difficult position where they are forced to take a difficult role or difficult decision. So during the meeting, one of the Toastmaster was asked to take up on the role and he felt that he was put in a spot. So that's about it. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, TM Namita, for explaining your role. So now let us start with the first section of the meeting, that is prepared speech. So our first speaker today is like Toastmaster Nuha. Toastmaster Nuha is a translator with a passion of teaching toddlers. She is a member of two clubs in Bahrain, that is Bahrain Educator and Bahrain Advanced, and also she is a member of club in Saudi Arabia. She is here to learn, grow, and make a long-lasting friendship. While she does that, she also aspired to be the first Sudanese to win the title of WCPS. Before I invite her on the stage, I would like to invite her speech evaluator DTM Saurav to read the speech objective. Over to you, DTM Saurav.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Am I audible and visible?
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and a special good evening to my target speaker. She is attempting a project from level 4. This project is called as Managing a Difficult Audience. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to address audience challenges when she presents outside of the Toastmasters Club. So we all know that she is not a member of this club, and so she has come all the way from her club to deliver this speech or to attempt this project in this club, because for her, more or less, the audience is new. And this project is all about being a part of level 4, a role play where we will not be rating her on the content of the speech. In spite of that, we are going to rate, or I am going to rate in the capacity of the speech evaluator, on how she is going to handle a set of difficult audience. What is difficult audience? Who are they and how they will be creating some disturbance to our prepared speaker is something even I am clueless. So this next, I would say 10 to 15 minutes are going to be quite exciting for all of us. Thank you so much for calling me on the dais. Thank you so much, and back to all the best, Toastmaster Nuha, and back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Amit.
Thank you, DTM Saurav. So Toastmaster Nuha, can you quickly do audio video check?
Hi, good evening. Well, good afternoon. Well, it's good evening for you. It's good afternoon for us. How are you doing?
Yeah, we are doing good. Yeah, we are able to hear you. And yeah, can you also confirm like we are able to see timer cards?
I'm able to see timer in Dira. That's right.
Can you like show green and red cards? You can confirm.
Yeah, can I share my view?
You were able to show timer cards earlier, right? Virtual backgrounds. Can you try that, Indira?
The buffering, it's okay, sir.
It's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, just one. Is this okay, sir?
That's fine. We will be able to manage with that.
Can you show red? Okay, yeah, this is.
Nuha, is this fine? White, red, yellow, green.
Yes, it's fine for me.
Okay.
Okay.
You can go back to white. Indira.
Oh.
Yeah, please help me welcome Toastmaster Nuha. English, Winglish, English, Winglish, Toastmaster Nuha.
With the pride of an engineering student, I stepped into the classroom. Smart, young, I was the coming engineering scientist, and this was my first Physics 101 class. I found a spot in front, of course, and sat waiting for the class to start, only to find out that the class is in English. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, good evening. Have you ever watched the movie English Winglish? If you have, raise your hand. Perfect. In that situation, when I stepped into that classroom, I felt like Shashi stepping into the land of opportunities. Doesn't understand anything, don't know what to do or where to go. And as Shashi, I asked myself, what do I have to do? What can I do? And as Shashi said, you have to help yourself. No one can help you better than you. I said, well, I need to learn English if I want to become the next engineering scientist. So I did my research. I found out that there are 4 levels of English. Can any one of the audience help me and tell me what are these 4 levels? Yes, ma'am. Anyone can tell me what are these 4 levels of English? Anyone speaking English?
Do you remember English movie? When she is giving me this speech, I'm only remembering the laddus of that movie, you know. Sridevi was the heroine and she used to make so nice, beautiful laddus. And she was so beautiful. Do you
Thank
remember?
you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Kalpana, for your input. I'm sure they were tasteful. And if I to visit India, it will be the first dish that I would try. Thank you very much. But can you tell me the answer to my question? There are 4 levels of English. Do you know what they are? I'm guessing that you will say maybe beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I would say no. I realized that there are 4 levels of English depending on your goal. The first one is learning English to learn English. The second one is learning English to pass the test. The third one is learning English to speak to native. And the fourth one is learning English to understand memes. So I said, learning English to learn English. It's the traditional way. You learn the basics, then you move on to learning the advanced grammar that doesn't make any sense. And then you move on to an advanced level where you learn that there is exception that doesn't make any sense to every grammar that didn't make any sense. But there's 2 problems with this method. The first one, it's boring. The second one, it takes long time. So I moved on to the second, which is learning English to pass the test. And believe me, this requires skills. One day, after I resolved my problem with learning English, my neighbor came to me and asked me to revise with her exam. And my neighbor, her knowledge in English was limited to 4 questions: her name, her age, her status, and her country. So I thought, let me help the poor girl. With the comprehension, I gave her the secret answer to solve comprehensions.
Hello. I'm already bored with this meeting and then I have this boring speech that's coming up. Hello. Why do you keep interrupting me? Why are you disturbing me?
TM Raju, can I ask the moderator to mute TM Raju until he finishes his private call? And I'm sure I'll be glad to take his feedback later. Moderator, please. Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. I appreciate your feedback and will take it into consideration next time. So I had to help my neighbor and I told her, if you want to solve the comprehension, the first rule is do not read the comprehension. Read the question, look for the words in the passage, and just type the sentence as is. But the problem with this is it's used to pass the exam, which he did, by the way, which leaves us with the third option, learning English to speak with natives, which is a great way of learning English, of course, except for an introvert like me, where can I find a native to learn from them? Doesn't work. I had to move to the fourth option, learning English to understand means. And this is basically learning English through listening to music, to movies and videos. So I started working on this, listening to videos, trying to match the subtitles with the words that I hear, trying to use these words in my life.
Toastmaster Nuha, I'm so sorry. So Toastmaster Nuha, so you learned English to pass the test or speak to the native?
May I know who's speaking because I cannot see you? Yes, our accountant. Yes. My aim was not to learn English to pass the test, but it was a tool that helped me for some time. But I needed to learn the actual language if I want to proceed in my life.
So you passed the test.
Well, I passed the test. And I'm sure if you use that skill, sometimes it will help you pass the test, but not the test of life where you had to do actual conversations.
So you were able to speak in English with your native? In your native, you were able to converse with people in English?
In my native language, I speak my native language. And thank you very much for your questions and concerns. I can share more of my experience after the speech because, you know, we're limited in time, but I'm happy to chat with you after the speech and give you the answer to every question that you have. And I hope that my experience will help you improve your language. Thank you very much, our accountant dedicated.
I was just wondering that whether they also passed the test to speak to you in English. Because I in my childhood, I failed once miserably, and then I learned it the hard way, and somehow I passed the test. So I'm able to speak somehow here. So I am just wondering if whoever you are speaking with or talking, they did pass the test, or you also came with.
You may allow me, Toastmaster Milan. I'm sorry. Can we let Toastmaster Nuha complete her speech? Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay. I'll take my questions later.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that you understood that we are limited in time. So they did pass the test using the skill that I gave them. But again, as I said, it will not help in the actual life. So I learned my English through listening to music, watching movies, listening to videos, watching movies, and try to understand the language and use it. It was great. It was helping me moving forward, except for one little problem. Well, you cannot speak with your professors using slang language. And of course, definitely, you cannot speak to them using the language they use in rap songs. So I had to go back to the basics. I had to learn the formal English, how to address people formally, especially when a professor requests you to their office. One day, my professor requested me to his office. And he said,
Toastmaster Nuha, I do have a question. Can I? Yeah. So what is what should be the sequence? Like, how should we start learning English? Like, whether it should be first like learning from rap or doing some coaching. So what should be the sequence?
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for this question. Let's keep the questions to the question and answer session. I will try to wrap up as quickly as possible and give maybe 5 minutes to the questions and answers. Thank you very much. Appreciate your patience. So my professor called me to his office one day. He said, Nuha, I like your English. I said, well, thank you. He said, I know few agencies that will help you study abroad if you want to. Are you asking? Well, I ended up turning his offer down, but I realized one thing, as Shashi do, you have to help yourself. You are the only person that knows how to better help yourself. So ladies and gentlemen, if you find yourself stepping into the land of opportunities, not understanding anything, not knowing where to go or what to do, go to yourself, go back to yourself and ask yourself, how can I move forward? Sometimes moving forward is listening to music. Sometimes moving forward is reading a book. And sometimes moving forward can be something outside the box. But as long as it's going to help you move forward and start the first step and make use of the land
I
of
totally believe
opportunities,
you,
you jump
Nuha.
in.
Nuha, I think
Thank
you
you.
make a valid point. English is so important. It takes you places, you go places. And even I agree with Milind, like Milind was talking about, English isn't easy at the same time. You got to pass a test. There's a lot of tests, international tests, there's school tests. I know a lot of people in this room found English to be really, really difficult. How many of you, we can probably have a poll, Raghu, Zoom master, have a poll. Let's see how many people who had failed their English test. I know I was almost nearly close to failing my English test once. It's horrendous. I agree with you, Milind. One second, Milind, I'm not done yet. Yet. So Nuha, I had a question. So how do we actually take this forward and try to have English as a part of Toastmasters as well? Probably we should take a session in Ren Martin is one way to do it. Probably call a couple of English teachers and have a session. Toastmasters for Hyderabad entrepreneurs, English teachers, take it forward. And have a session like that. What do you think, Raghu? And maybe Shiva, current president, Shiva.
Thank you very much.
I'm so excited.
I appreciate your suggestion.
Yeah, listening to speeches,
because
I
we're
think
running out
can
of time.
implement these. We can implement these techniques. I'm just getting the thoughts like, okay, for the newcomers or the Toastmasters, we need to have a sessions with the English teachers or hearing some music and all. Then getting a lot of ideas on these things.
Well, you know what? Today I'm stepping into the land of opportunity. I'm coming here to speak in front of you. I need to be assertive, and I am sorry I need to stop you, but great tips and tricks that you gave me today. I would say maybe we'll finish with the suggestion that Toastmaster Anto gave and have the poll. And also, if you have any ideas or stories you want to share, feel free to share it in the chat box. Finally, I would like to say that if you step into the land of opportunity, check with yourself, be assertive, and think, what is the first step that I want to do? And now, if you have any question, I am happy to answer them. Any questions on the floor?
What happened finally after you have learned English, and what is a proficiency level now?
Well, now I work as a translator, so you can see that I quit my dream to become a scientist engineer, and I became a full-time translator. So you can see how that trip of listening to music, listening to rap songs, I know that's part of my life. That's teenage, listening to rap songs and listening to movies helped me start my career now as a translator. And when it was COVID, I needed to do a shift. I found that I have the skills that will support me to move forward. Any other questions? Thank you, TM Raghu, for your question.
On behalf of few new Toastmasters, I want to ask, how can people improve their English skills? If somebody is coming from a background where they don't have English as a primary language, or where they don't have English as a medium of education, how can they improve their English?
Well, thank you very much for this question. Well, I would say I have 2 tips that I can share in this aspect. The first tip is expose yourself to the language as much as possible. What I did when I started learning English, because up to college, all my education was in Arabic, and I didn't have any exposure to the language. What I did is I listened to the movies, I read the subtitles and try to match them and use them. And I will be happy to share more tips and tricks in the chat. Thank you, and back to you.
Toastmaster Nuha, can I ask a question?
I believe we don't have time, but Toastmaster of the day has the time control.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nuha. I would also like to thank all the role players that have played part in disrupting the session, because that was the purpose of the speech. So I'd like to thank all the role players. And okay, and next we have the second speech. So we have Toastmaster Weshan, who is living in Pakistan, who is giving his speech. So Toastmaster Weshan is working in bank with fixed income product. He was working in China for 5 years before he moved to Pakistan. He recently joined Toastmaster back after taking a break. So before I invite Toastmaster Weshan on the stage, I would like to call his evaluator, Toastmaster Anto, to read out his speech objective. Over to you, Toastmaster Anto.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. So our speaker number 2 is attempting project number 2 from L1P2. And the purpose of his speech is as follows. So the purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during the club meeting. The purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Just to clarify for the audience, the speaker would attempt the speech twice and use feedback and then attempt it again. So just to give clarity to the audience, because probably the statements in the manual are not that clear. I wish the best of luck to the speaker, and over to the Toastmaster Amit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anto. So Toastmaster Weshan, can you quickly do audio video check?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Right. Just to clarify, I've done this speech once, and today is the second time I'm doing it. I hope I didn't.
Second time. Indira, the time is 5 to 7 minutes.
The second time, yeah. Okay. Thank you. So everyone can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you also confirm you are able to see the timer cards?
I am able to see the timer cards, and I can see whoever is sharing their video as well.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Weshan. A great project, the Great Wall. A great project, the Great Wall, Toastmaster Weshan.
Thank you for the introduction. Projects. Projects are something we are always doing. Our days are divided into different projects. Some of them are short and others are long. Short projects are those that do not require a lot of time, such as cooking, driving to work, cleaning the house, doing work, or then we counting down the time to go home. These projects become so common that we just adopt them as part of our routine and don't think twice when doing them. Then there are some longer projects, like a painting you're working on, or a home renovation, or maybe a book you're reading. And then there are some projects that can take years, like working for a promotion or building a new house. What if I told you there was a project that took hundreds of years to make and still stands today? A project so vast that people made a myth about it being able to be visible from the moon. Just to stop for a second, does anyone know what line can be seen from the moon?
The Great Wall.
The Great Wall, it's actually a myth. You cannot see the Great Wall. That's a myth. Does anyone know which line you can see? It's interesting to bring it up in this meeting. Does anyone know? No,
I think the Burj Khalifa can be seen now.
It's actually the border line between Pakistan and India, for your information, because of all the lights they put up on both sides. So that line can actually be seen from space. Interesting fact, next time you think about it. Going back. The project that I'm talking about is actually called the Great Wall of China. At over 6,000 kilometers in length, it is an engineering feat that put ancient China on the map, literally. The Great Wall was conceived in ancient China to protect them from the northern nomads, which we now know as the Mongolians. Ancient China did not like the Mongolians. They felt the Mongolians were violent people and thought they were a threat to society. By keeping these people out, they thought their society could be more pure. They thought they were a threat and would bring more crime. Wait a minute, this sounds a lot like Donald Trump and the way he was thinking about Mexican people. Did it work though? Yes, we don't need to look far for this evidence. Both ancient China and Mongolia have had very different histories and cultures, even though they are just very close and separated by just a wall. Ancient China also thought Mongolians would be a threat to trade. Remember, China had some inventions that they did not want to share with the others, which included gunpowder, paper, and the compass. They wanted to trade east and west, not north and south. Did it work? Yes, we all have heard of the Silk Road and how vast it was. And if you look at a map now, you'll see how the Silk Road just went under the Great Wall all the way westward, but did not go past north or go southward. I want to stop for a second and let you imagine what a daunting task it would be to build such a thing. We're talking about an era with no roads, no building tools, let alone no electricity. Think about adding to a wall day after day, month after month, year after year. And just when you think you're finished, the project needs to extend a few hundred kilometers. While there is no record of how many people died in making the wall, estimates suggest hundreds of thousands of people died in its construction. So some people gave their lives for this project. Looking back, I think we could admit the project was a success and served the purpose they initially sought out to. Flash forward a few thousand years to present day, and guess what? The wall still stands. What was once a war strategy tool is now a tourist attraction for anyone to visit and take photos of. And now China and Mongolia are seen as just one country. As a result, their culture and economy are now the same. The first time I was in China, actually, I was in the car and we were going northward. And from the distance, I saw this line on top of the mountain, a very thin line. As we came closer and closer, that line got thicker and thicker. And then I realized, is this that wall? I asked my friend, hey, Lenny, is this the wall? He said, oh, yeah, this is just the Great Wall. And I was mind blown, like something so ancient was still there and you could just drive under it through a tunnel. It was an amazing experience. So projects that we spend time and carefully execute may be appreciated for a long time. Thorough planning and attention to detail, we can excel in both our short projects and our long projects. What is a rushed breakfast can now become a great meal. What is a quick renovation fix in your house can now become the centerpiece of your house. Looking around the world, there are some great projects like the pyramids in Egypt, the Taj Mahal in India, and the pyramids in Mexico that were built hundreds of years ago, but still take our breath away. There's no reason why we can't make or do things that are breathtaking. Malcolm Gladwell asserted that we need about 10,000 hours to achieve mastery in something. He used the examples of Michael Jordan with basketball, Bill Gates with computing, and Tiger Woods with golf. They all chose one project and devoted time to it, becoming masters of their own domain. It was their great project. Ladies and gentlemen, what is your great project? What are you aiming to be great at? What is your great wall? Let us go find it or keep building it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Weshan. Can we take around 30 seconds to provide feedback to Toastmaster Weshan? And yeah, we can, you can personally ping him, so we can take 30 minutes to do that. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Abrar. Toastmaster Abrar is tax and financial professional. He is also founder of International Block Consultancy. He is VP Education of Islamabad Toastmaster Club. He was runner-up of National Tall Tale District 122 for year 2021. So before I invite Toastmaster Abrar on the stage, I would like to invite his speech evaluator, Toastmaster Kalpana, to read out his speech objective. Over to you, Toastmaster Kalpana.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, one and all. Today, Toastmaster Abrar is attempting his level 3 project making connections through network from his Pathway Effective Coaching. The purpose of this project is for the member to develop and practice a personal strategy for building connections through network. Along with that, member has to share some aspect of his or her speech while networking. Timer, please note the timing of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Abrar. Hope to hear an assertive speech and put me on spot as evaluator. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalpana. Toastmaster Abrar, can you quickly do audio video check once?
Am I audible and visible?
Yeah. Can you also confirm you are able to see different timer cards? Timer, can you please show different timer?
Yeah, I can see, but that's fine. I can do it.
Yeah. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Abrar. Toastmaster Abrar, Apple's Dilemma, Toastmaster Abrar.
Apple. It is said that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. How many of you believe on this particular proverb? I want raise of hands. Okay. Now I want to ask you that how many of you believe that this particular proverb applies on every one of us indiscriminately? I want raise of hands. I guess I put most of the people on the spot and they cannot say anything to me assertively. Dear Toastmaster fellows and distinguished guests, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But this particular proverb does not work with me. You know why? Because I'm consistently having an apple on a daily basis, but I am unable to keep the doctor away because my wife is a doctor. Dear Toastmaster fellows, this famous proverb was introduced at the advent of 19th century in order to make people realize the importance of health with respect to junk food and with respect to the vegetables and fruits. At the advent of 21st century, another apple appeared on the screen. And that apple actually is something that people use, they use these days in order to make networking. I remember whenever I go outside in a meeting, in a public gathering, or in any family gathering, I see too many people, they always playing with their mobile phones, pretending that they are busy in making networkings. But fact of the matter is, they are not doing networking, but very few people. Rather, they are just wasting their time on scrolling up and scrolling down while surfing on Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram, and these kind of such other applications. I remember those good old days when my family members, they used to sit together when there is load shedding. They used to discuss their matters, their griefs, their concerns. But in practical arena of now, people, whenever they sit together, you will find that everyone is sitting on the different corners of the room and they are using their apples or blackberries, pretending that they are involved in making networking, but in fact, they are playing with their phones. This Apple dilemma has made our life a hell. Last week, I attended a training seminar in which the trainer was telling so much informative things, but most of the people I saw, they were still busy in their mobile phones and not listening and focusing on what is being communicated to them. So we can easily say, with the passage of time, the importance of physical networking actually losing its value. Nowadays, when people go to their relatives, when people go to their loved ones, though they pretend that they are going for the networking, but what happens? When they reach there, they don't ask for networking, they ask whether your net is working. Dear Toastmaster fellows, due to this Apple dilemma, I faced a huge loss in my life. I remember 5 years back, when I came back from office, my father was sitting on one corner of the room and he asked me, Abrar, I want to talk to you. I said, Baba, I have a marketing job. I need to go to the other room and I need to make some networking with the salespeople. My father kept himself silent after listening this. What happened? I put my earbuds in my ears and I start watching match of Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. During that time, my father had a heart attack. He was calling me for help. But due to this so-called networking I was using while putting earbuds in my ears, I couldn't listen to him. My mother came there while shouting, look what happened to your father. When I got up and when I went there to pick my father up, it was too late. He was gone. He made his networking with the divine power. And I lose my networking that day. That day I realized that I will not use such kind of networking. I will make that physical contact even more better to make a proper loving impact. And today I can say with full assertiveness and will close my speech with that particular notion that those good old days were better when apple and blackberry were just fruits. Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abrar. That was a wonderful speech. Can we quickly take 30 seconds to provide feedback to Toastmaster Abrar? So that was the end of our first section, that is prepared speech. Before I move to our second section, that is table topic session, I would like to invite DTM Abhijeet to provide a keynote speech on leadership. Yeah, over to you, DTM Abhijeet.
Thank you, Amit. It was 2019. I'd just been a Toastmaster for 5 months. And my president of the club said he wants to meet with me. I was busy, but I was not sure what he wanted to talk to me about. I said yes. When I met with him, the first thing he said, "Do you want to become the vice president of education for our club?" I said, "What, me?" I'd been only a Toastmaster for 5 months. But I said yes because I like to do the scheduling of speeches. That yes changed my path in Toastmasters. The first thing I learned was servant leadership. I had my mentor as Dan Market. Dan was the VP of the club. As soon as I joined Toastmasters, I wanted him as my mentor because he was coming to the club very regularly. And he also used to record our speeches and send us our YouTube links. I was wondering, why is he doing all this stuff? Why does he have to record everyone's speech and send it to us? I was baffled that no one was asking him to do it. But that act of kindness inspired me. Like, he was serving the people of the club. Something changed in me because of him. He also helped me understand the role of the VPE, how to do it effectively, how to make a difference in people's lives. From him, I learned about servant leadership. The second thing was I attended a club officer training. I really didn't want to go to a club officer training because I would rather spend my time with my girlfriend rather than going to a club officer training. Reluctantly, I went. The trainer was Michael Hoynaski. And the one thing he said made a big difference. He said, whenever a guest comes, welcome them with your open heart and make a connection with them. That simple thing, when I started applying, it helped me to take my club's strength from 27 to 41 in the matter of 3 months. I learned the power of connection. And the third thing, which was very helpful for me, it helped me to connect with my deepest purpose of giving back. Whenever a new person joined, I mentored them for the first 2 levels. I really enjoyed mentoring. It felt like I was connecting with my deepest purpose of contributing to people's lives. And these 3 things, servant leadership, connection, and mentorship, I learned these 3 things over the course of a year. And it changed my life forever. And today, you also have that opportunity to serve your club and make a difference in people's lives. I want you to take that challenge and enjoy the journey. Make a difference in people's lives. Take ownership. I want to share one more thing is, my rest of the 6 officers disappeared. I was the only VP of the club who's coming to the meetings every time. It didn't matter. I was able to learn all 7 roles just because I was the VP. So don't let anything matter to you. Just be there for the people, serve them, and you will make a difference in people's lives. I want to wish you all the luck and enjoy the journey. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Abhijeet, for these wonderful insights. So now it's time to move to our next fun session of the meeting, that is table topic session. Let me first introduce today's table topic master, Toastmaster Dhananjay. Toastmaster Dhananjay is a passionate Toastmaster working in aeronautical company from last 15 years. He's passionate about bringing changes in education system and how the parents see the education. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Dhananjay for the table topic section. Over to you, Toastmaster Dhananjay.
Thank you, DTM. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Welcome to another interesting and wonderful table topic session. I always like this session because it is impromptu. Because in life, many things are impromptu. We cannot expect the next situation, what happens to us. So we need to practice the impromptu in the Toastmaster session, as well as we are practicing every day in our daily life. So today we are coming with some topics. As our club is Toastmaster for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs, it's an entrepreneur club. So I came up with some entrepreneur vocabulary, and in this I'll be giving 2 words. Of course, both are connected words, and from those words you can frame what you get from these 2 words. So I welcome all members, and I encourage every members to participate in this impromptu speech. And there are total 10 topics. Anybody who comes as a volunteer can take any number, and I will read the topic. Thank you. And who will go first? Okay. It looks our Kalpana madam may want to go first. You can select any number from 1 to 10.
3.
3. Okay. Your topic is idea and implementation. Idea and implementation, Toastmaster Kalpana.
Okay. As far as I feel, every person will have a lot of ideas and they will have a plan to implement those ideas. But I believe that just having an idea will not serve the purpose of building that idea into reality. I always feel that we have to work towards a proper plan, and we have to ensure that if our plan is not working for any reason, we should have a backup plan of implementing and ensuring that we are reaching towards our idea implementation. And what if our plan B also fails? We don't have to worry about it because we have all 27 alphabets with us and we can try A, B, C, D till Z. I always feel that the moment we are stopping to implement our idea, fearing of the results or fearing of the point that it might fail or fearing of the point that we might not be able to achieve will never serve the purpose. All we have to do is strive and ensure that you are building your idea into reality. No matter what comes on your way, you have to ensure you're not stopping there as a hurdle, but you are making it as a stepping stone for the next step. So I believe idea and implementation go hand in hand, and we have to ensure we need to have both of them to get to the.
Okay.
Thank you. Over to table topic, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kalpana madam. So I like that. And we are not lack with ideas. There are ideas in everybody's head, but the only problem is nowadays is implementation. So even you watch YouTube, will get so many ideas, but the problem is implementation. And now I invite Toastmaster Abdul Rahmanji. And sir, please tell me any number between 1 to 10 except 3. You are muted.
I'll take the highest double-digit number 10.
Oh, nice.
Max.
So your topic is values and profits. Values and profits, Toastmaster Abdul Rahman.
Values and profits. Good evening and good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Values and profits. When I was young, my elders used to speak about values. My grandma, my mother, my grandfather, they all used to talk about values. They always used to say, if certain amount of money or certain amount of profit or any valuable thing is in your fate, it will automatically come. And they also used to say, don't run after money. When you stop running after money, the money will run after you. But make sure you are sticking to the values. Be truthful, be honest, be straightforward, respect elders, be affectionate with the younger ones, be soft spoken. These are the values which they always emphasized, and they always used to show us in practice. It is not just speaking, they always used to demonstrate it, all the time. And we try and do the same. We have been trying since several years with our kids as well, that the values are the utmost important thing in our lives, and money is something which comes and goes. People who have been rich, like in India, if you take Anil Ambani, his brother is one of the probably the richest Asian today. But his brother Anil Ambani, who used to be a little more richer than Mukesh Ambani sometime back, at the time when the wealth was divided, but today he's bankrupt. He has filed bankruptcy and he's in negatives. He owes money to banks, etc. So I strongly believe that values are something which should remain with us, by which people will remember even we die. But profits and money is nothing. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome explanation, and great that you got such wisdom in the childhood itself from your grandparents. And nowadays, even from many businesses, they are suffering because they don't have right value system. And hope people will understand and implement the same. And I invite next person, our guest, Vian Chen. Sorry, have I spelled it properly?
Oh, you pronounce it perfectly.
Yeah,
thank
you. Yeah. So, what is your number? Like from 1 to 9, except 3.
Oh, can I take 9, please?
Yeah. So your topic is strategies and ideas. Strategies and ideas, Vian Chen.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Strategies and ideas. What comes first, chicken or egg? Okay, obviously, if you're setting up your own business, you have to have an idea. That's the very essential starting point of everything. You brainstorm, you discuss with your friends, and you have a rough idea what you want to do. If you think about having a strategy and having an idea and having no ways to implement it, what is missing here? That is strategies to implement. Any business school you go into, we talk about strategy, and that's probably the first course any school would open up and teach the students, because that's the essential point of any ideas implementation. You need to have a way to go around and to implement. with a show of hands, how many of you here are entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurial clubs? And if we do a survey here, what could be more important? Having a great idea or having a brilliant strategy to implement that? Some ideas might be okay, but the strategy to approach this idea's implementation might be perfect and that worked out. It can be a topic that you need to really balance and to dig deep into. My personal view is that the ideas comes first, and then you implement using a good strategy to approach that. Okay, back to table topics faster. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, as you said, first after idea is taken, you need to have a executable strategy to implement that idea. Nice. And who will go next? I think Saurabh. Yes.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you're audible and visible. Okay. And what is your favorite number between 1 to 8 except 3?
1.
1. Okay, nice. So your topic is money and spirituality. Money and spirituality, Toastmaster Saurabh.
Thank you so much, Table Topic Master. This is 21st century, and we all know that in order to survive, we need money. Long back, there was a very famous saying here in India, roti, kapda, and makan are the 3 things which are necessities for any human being. In English, the food, the clothes, and the shelter. Nowadays, the list has gone far behind this. Only by having a roti, a kapda, and a makan, that is the food, the clothes, and the shelter, a human cannot survive. We need a mobile phone, we need internet, we need computers, and we need so many things. A fridge, a TV, a cooler, a AC, and what's not, car, scooter, so many things. If you will try to go deeper, everything that we are using today is connected with money. And so without money, the life is difficult. But I would like to take a moment to flip the coin and ask you a few more questions. Have you ever noticed that on one hand, while you are raising the bar of your living standard, on the other hand, there is a human is still surviving his life on the sides of the road? He does not even have proper food, shelter, and clothes, but he is living. What is the source of his life? What is the reason that he is still able to survive? Probably the family members that he has got who are living with him, maybe in a slum area, on the sides of the road, on a footpath, or I don't know what. The love between those two people, those few people within the same family, is more than enough to provide that really essential support that we all need to survive. Apart from that, the self-confidence that we have that we will face any challenge and we will come out of it is more important. And that self-confidence is not available in any market by paying any amount of money. Work hard, believe in yourself, and always respect the trust that you are getting from your near and dear ones. Spirituality, if in one word I would say, is more important than money. And that is the thought with which I want to close my speech. Back to the table topic, Master.
Yeah. Thank you, Saurabh, for your great attempt. You have greatly said about spirituality and money connecting each other. And next speaker, Namita, which number do you want to go ahead? From 2 to 8, except 3.
8 is available?
Yes.
Okay.
So your topic is sales and revenue. Sales and revenue, Toastmaster Namita.
Hello, Toastmasters and dear guests. It's very easy to say that one is greater than another. But without sales, how will you generate revenue? For example, if a good salesperson brought in a really good account for the company, but the people who are assigned to the project are not able to deliver on time, or they're getting escalated frequently. What's the point? Where is the revenue being generated? So even if there's good sales, generating revenue matters depending on a lot of factors. For example, if a banking sector is going forward rapidly, especially during COVID time, we saw banks were still working while other sectors were not. At that time, banking sector made a lot of profit. They generated a lot of revenue. If either the company had invested in some other sector like traveling and hospitality, they would not have survived much. So it is very important to decide, depending on the factors, depending on the conditions and the situations of the economy, that what you give importance to. Are we assertive in saying that sales is equally important, but investing in the proper kind of sector to generate the revenue, to give promotions to your employees, to give incentives, to be forward as a brand and as a company, it matters a lot. That's all from me. Over to you, Toastmasters. Dhananjay.
Thank you, Namita, for your wonderful explanation. And I know that some more people are curious to attempt, but as we have running out time, I'm handing over my stage to TMoD, Amit Kumar. Over to you, TMoD.
Thank you, Dhananjay, for running the wonderful table topic session. So now we have this last session of the meeting, that is evaluation section. So here we'll be evaluating all the speeches, and also like we'll be evaluating the meeting at the end. So first we should start with the evaluating the first speech. So here like we have DTM Saurabh Tiwari to evaluate to Toastmaster Nuha's speech. So before we invite DTM Saurabh, so let me introduce him. So DTM Saurabh is a Toastmaster from almost 4 years. He is the area director of District 18. He has been club sponsor, club coach, event chair, and has been played multiple other EC roles or even without a title to support the club. He has been awarded Triple Crown thrice, the Best Toastmaster Award Golden Feather in 2018-19, and many other awards. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Saurabh to evaluate Toastmaster Nuha's speech. Over to you, DTM Saurabh.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Am I audible and visible?
Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening and good afternoon to everyone in the audience, and a special good afternoon to Nuha. I guess there is afternoon in her country. So Nuha, what a beautiful speech title, English Winglish. Actually, I have seen this movie when a couple of years back when I was quite young, and I must say Sridevi has been my favorite actress. So listening to this title, I was having a lot of butterflies in my stomach. What is this speech going to be all about? And I must say you have done a wonderful job by having this amazing title, which is the first win that you created. Now proceeding forward, I would like to say 3 things that I really liked about your speech, and then I would quote what is something I believe you can try doing better. So the 3 things that you did really well: first, demonstration of your professional behavior. When we talk about this project, managing a difficult audience, the first thing that has been given to the speaker as a part of the learning objective is to maintain that decency, that set of etiquettes, and behave very professionally, no matter how difficult the audience would be. You have done it amazingly well. The second thing is the respectfulness during the interactions while you are dealing with the audience members. I have seen a lot of places where different people playing role, those were secret roles, try to disturb you to a limit that a normal human being will definitely feel going crazy and would get short-tempered or probably try to yell something bad out of the person, but you try to maintain your interactions in the most beautiful and respectful way. You took questions or challenges with a smile on your face, and there are times you said that let the other person complete your speech, and then you will get back to them with a question and answer round, and that is what you have successfully done at the end of the speech. The third thing that you did really well is using some strategies to refocus on the speech very well. So all of us know that you have given some tips how to be a good speaker, and that is how you related your story with the story of Sashi, that is Sridevi in that movie English Winglish. She was doing something else, and you tried to give your own tips of how to speak better. And while doing all this, you did not lose your focus, your control. After facing all the challenges, you got back to your story and you managed to complete it successfully. Now, flipping the coin again and trying to give some areas of improvement or some challenges that we have seen in today's project attempt. The one thing that I believe we can do better, you can do better, is that demonstration of proper action for each type of difficult audience member. So if we go with the project details, there are 6 different type of audience who create disturbance while you speak in 6 different ways. And then for every way, there is a unique technique given in that project. I was looking for that difference in your technique while dealing type 1 audience to type 2 and then type 3, 4, 5, and 6. That difference was not visible. Apart from that, you have done it quite well. Few more things that I noticed, which is probably not in your control. At one point of time, I heard someone from the audience trying to come forward and protect you that, hey, let her speak, don't disturb. So you need to probably take the control in your hands in spite of someone from the audience come and help you. And the third thing is, which is very obvious, all of us have noticed, your baby was crying, which was probably a more natural way of having that difficult audience. So overall, it was a great attempt. Wish you all the best for your future speeches. Back to JP.
Thank you, DTM Saurav. So now, now we are moving to the second evaluator, Toastmaster Anto. So Toastmaster Anto is business development consultant for startup and SMEs. He loves to travel, read, and a bit foodie who tries to go for new type of foods. So Toastmaster Anto is here to evaluate Toastmaster Weshan's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Anto.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for that nice introduction and emphasizing on the fact that I'm a foodie. So good point to stress on. Toastmaster Weshan, what can I say? You had an amazing speech. I really loved your speech. Like some of the people in the audience mentioned, fluency was really good. There's a natural flow. You've got a strong command of the language. You have confidence and you can speak for impact. That is one of the strong suits that I see in you as a speaker. When you asked the audience or when you asked us, what is the project that you're working on? When that question is there, I was like, wow, that struck me. I had to think for a moment. What is that? So you have that natural sort of impact. The general purposes that you can really work on are, speaking to inspire and motivational speaking. I think this would come naturally to you. Now, there were a lot of aspects that I really liked about it, especially the second other aspect that I liked is how you're able to modulate your voice and specifically how you're able to stress on key words for impact. I'll take an example. For example, this project could take years. So when you say years, that itself tells me, oh my God, this project is going to take years, it's going to take a while. That is there throughout the way you speak. And that with my eyes closed, the picture is painted inside of me as to what you're trying to say. Now, I know you're a speaker for impact, so I'm going to equip you and challenge you to work on a couple of things. Number one, I felt probably in terms of pace, you could have managed your pace a little more better. I'll only say 3 words for you. Let it sink. Let it sink. Just like a dish that you marinate before you cook. You put the spices and you rub it and you wait for a while. You wait for a while so that the flavors all sink in and you get the most out of the dish. Similarly, in a speech, if you tell your verses or your lines or your script, give it a pause. Slow down in certain areas. Let it sink into the audience. Let the impact really, really sink. And that would definitely bring more impact. Now, coming to your previous evaluators' point on expressions, I feel probably when you look at the prowess that you have in terms of vocal variety, in comparison, yes, probably there are areas where your expressions could be better. And how to probably be better at this? Now, we want to make it better so that it naturally accentuates your style of speaking and not that it become too theatrical or too dramatical. So I have a couple of suggestions for you. Internalize your speech. Say it with emotions. Now, how do you know whether it's working or not? Try recording yourself. The first time around I recorded myself, I really didn't like any of my expressions. So it's going to be hard. It's going to take time, but eventually it's going to be good. So that being said, I really love the fact that you can definitely speak for impact. Couple of things that I mentioned, pace and how to work on your expressions. And you can take this to much, much greater heights. Over to the table, the Toastmaster of the day, Amit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anto, for evaluating this speech. So next we have third evaluator, Toastmaster Kalpana. I believe Toastmaster Kalpana need no introduction. He is presiding officer and current president of our club, also known as like the Rajnikant of our club. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Kalpana to evaluate Toastmaster Abrar's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Kalpana.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. If I am Rajnikant, then please wish me all. Today is my birthday. Rajnikant is my favorite hero, and I always love to cut cake on behalf of him. And today you made my day by saying this. Toastmaster Abrar, what an emotional speech. I always believed in the quote that you said that life was so much simpler when apple and blackberry were just fruits. This funny quote metamorphically describes the situation of people around us. It is real funny fact that we barely care about people around us and strive for people who are sitting virtually either over the WhatsApp group or by Facebook. I wish to change the quote, an apple a day keeps doctor away to a 15 minutes off for network keeps family problems away. Well, going on that, this is my personal opinion and I strongly echo with you whatever you have said in your speech. Toastmaster Abrar, your speech surely touched everyone's heart. I really appreciate your idea of talking against social network and introducing an older and well-worked network, especially for human beings. I still remember when I was a child, all network used to be in the balcony or in the colonies where we used to have places to sit and talk to each other, which very much connected people around us. Now, even sometimes I WhatsApp my husband saying that food is ready, please come and have it. I would like to evaluate your speech by talking about commendations, recommendations, and summary. Coming to commendations, your speech started with an act and a question. For a moment, I rechecked my device if it is working fine, but your act helped all of us to get hooked to your speech. Good job there. 2, you have delivered your speech with very good pace. We were able to take whatever you were throwing on us. 3, well-structured speech and very inspiring summary as well. 4, good usage of props over your speech. I saw that you have used an apple, you have used your phone. Very well done, an assertive idea. Coming to recommendations, I have the following recommendations for your speech. 1, you have large scope to implement voice modulations, especially over the areas where you were talking with your emotions. Either you can low down when you are feeling sad, or you can raise your voice a much higher than what you are actually doing it. 2, you may further bring in your conclusion at early stage of your speech so that whatever valuable conclusion you are going to give will be more impactful for the audience. I somewhere felt that coming conclusion at the later part was little rushed and we could not take whatever good things you are saying. Overall, well-structured and well-presented speech with a good takeaway for audience, little voice modulation and early summary and conclusion would make your speech from better to the best one. I would congratulate you on completion of your project and wish you all the best for all your future projects. Over to the table topic master of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalpana. So now we are done with the speech evaluator. So now it's time to evaluate our meeting with our tag team. So first, I would like to call Toastmaster Milind for the counter report. Over to you, Toastmaster Milind.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. So my role was to count the filler or crutch words from start of the meeting till the end of the meeting. So I hope somebody has counted for me as well. But so here we are. So Toastmaster Kalpana, I did not find any crutch words because you spoken fluently without stopping. Toastmaster Smita, I don't know if she's there, but she took ours as count as 12. That's none. Toastmaster Shiva took ours as 6 and 4 long pauses. There was one long pause, 2, and there were other filler. There was only one other filler word. DTM Saurabh Tiwari, there was only 3 ands continuously. Otherwise, it was flawless. DTM Raghu, I could not find anything. Toastmaster of the day, Amit. There were 8 R's and 8 so's and 3 ands. Toastmaster Indira, 2 R's. Toastmaster Namita, 1 R and 2 so. Toastmaster Nuha, I could not find any. Toastmaster Weshan, there was only 2 R's. Toastmaster Abrar, only 2 so. Toastmaster Abhijeet, I could not find anything. Toastmaster Dhananjay, there were 8 R's, 1 so and 2 ands. Toastmaster Abdul Rahman, 2 R's. Toastmaster Vian, guest Vian, I could not find any. Toastmaster Anto, 1 R, 2 and 2 other filler words. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Milind, for the detailed report. Next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Namita for the grammarian report. Over to you, Namita. Okay, I think she had some connectivity issue.
Well, you can ask Indira for her report.
Yeah. So meanwhile, I would like to invite Toastmaster Indira for the timer report. Over to you, Toastmaster Indira.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Here is my timer report. Speaker 1, Toastmaster Nuha, took 15 minutes 22 seconds, and Speaker 2, Weshan, took 5 minutes 37 seconds, and Speaker 3, Abrar, took 7 minutes 30 seconds. And coming to keynote speaker Abhijeet Joshi, he took 4 minutes 43 seconds. And coming to table topic, Toastmaster Kalpana took 1 minute 34 seconds, and Toastmaster Abdul Rahman took 2 minutes 17 seconds. Guest Weshan took 1 minute 53 seconds, and Toastmaster Saurabh took 2 minutes 14 seconds, and Toastmaster Namita took 1 minute 31 seconds. And coming to evaluation part, evaluation DTM Saurabh took 3 minutes 24 seconds, and Toastmaster Anto John took 3 minutes 32 seconds, and Toastmaster Kalpana took 3 minutes 6 seconds. Over to you, General Toastmaster of the day. Sorry.
Thank you, Indira, for the detailed report. Now I would like to invite Toastmaster Namita for the grammarian report. Over to you, Toastmaster Namita.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amit. I would like to share my screen again.
Just wanted to interrupt you a bit. So as we started 10 minutes late, I raised the motion to extend the meeting by 15 minutes. Can somebody second that?
Yeah, I can second.
Thank you very much.
So, first of all, what a lovely meeting. Very well organized and very pleasant to be in as usual. So, being a grammarian and a grammar Nazi, I didn't get to pick on a lot of improper usage. In fact, there were none because most of us here are very professional in speaking, very good in English. So the good usages were Toastmaster B, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. When you you said what came first, the chicken or the egg, most of the Toastmasters were smiling here because they're familiar with this phrase and they were entertained by the way you used it. Then DTM's Saurabh used good usages like tight spot, etiquette. Toastmaster Anto used good usages of let it sink, accentuate. Toastmaster Weshan used conceived and take our breath away. Toastmaster Abrar used divine power, and surprisingly, Toastmaster Nuha, in spite of so many interruptions, she did not falter or she did not make any mistakes at all that I could catch. And word of the day was used by me, Toastmaster Kalpana, Toastmaster Abrar. Idiom of the day was used by Toastmaster Kalpana, Toastmaster Abrar. So word of the day was used thrice. Idiom of the day was used twice. If you want to improve your English, you can follow these links, which might help you. And these books have been helpful. These are school children books, but it might help us also. Thank you so much, Toastmaster, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Namita, for sharing the detailed report and sharing the references as well. So now this was the end of the third session. So now I would like to hand over the stage to our president of the club.
Sure.
Yeah, Toastmaster Siva.
Yep, thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, for the wonderful conducting of our meeting. Meanwhile, DTM Raghu, could you please help to share the certificates to the room, please?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shiva. I welcome Weshan because this is her first visit to our club. Let us all welcome to her. I wish to see you in more of our meetings, Weshan. Next is, let us thank TM Smita Mishra for taking her time and helping us in the playing installation officer. And then Toastmaster Namita for playing role of grammarian, Milinda Arora for playing role of accountant, India Reddy for playing role of timer, Nuha for giving speech English to English, Toastmaster Weshan for giving speech a great project, the Great Wall of China, Toastmaster Abrar for giving a speech Apple's Dilemma, TM Saurabh Tiwari, and TM Antojan, and then Toastmaster Kalpana for evaluating speech, and DTM Abhijeet Joshi for giving keynote speech today. Thank you all role players. You're winners by choice because you came up and took the roles. Thank you very much, and I pass the control back to presiding officer Toastmaster Shiva.
Thank you, DTM Raghu, for the wonderful presentation of the certificates. Today we have a lot of visiting Toastmasters and we have guests across the globe. I would like to take feedback from them in a quick feedback from them. I think Abhijeet was muted himself. Would you like to go, Abhijeet?
Yes, Siva, I really enjoyed the meeting. The flow was very good. I really enjoyed the flow and the speeches, evaluations, as well as the table topics kept me I was listening to everyone's stories. So it's always enjoyable to listen to people. So thank you for having me, Siva.
Thank you, Abhijeet. It was every time it was wonderful time while listening to you. As I said of the mock, listening some Gargopal Das motivational speeches to get it. Yes, we need to do at any point of time, whatever the consequences. The soothing voice, the statements from you will directly go into my mind, especially. Thank you for coming to our club. Yeah, we have all the speakers from our neighboring countries. So anyone wants to share your feedback on the meeting today? Nuha, Abrar, or Weshan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Well, I enjoyed the meeting truly. It was a great experience. I do apologize for my daughter as she was sick today, but even if she was not sick, she would probably interrupt at some point. As I wrote on my Clubhouse profile that I have a toddler. So if you called me and I did not reply, wait for 10 minutes. I might be literally saving the world. So thank you very much for having me today. I really enjoyed even the interruption. I enjoyed them, and it was, I think it added to my speech some more value. Thank you very much for having me here. Over to you.
Thank you, Nuha. Thank you for the wonderful feedback. We'll love to see you more in our club. It's not an issue with your kid. She's also played a role to interrupt you to manage a difficult audience project. Thank you. Yeah, we have Abrar and guest Vihan.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of
Abrar.
all, I would like to thank you, especially Raghu and your club for inviting me here. And the environment, such a professional people you are. I'm literally impressed. And today I'm taking some important messages and some important things, especially from the grammarian. The way she presented her report was literally splendid, and I impressed of the way of her reporting actually. The overall, the environment of the ambience of your speakers and evaluators are excellent. I can say it's literally a professional club. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Abrar, for your kind words. Yeah, we'll hope we'll see you in the further meetings as a role player or a speaker at any role. That was an inspiring topic you choose today. Thank you. Yeah, guest Vian, do you want to share some feedback?
Thank you, Toastmasters Siva. I am particularly impressed that it's like a little combination of people coming from different clubs based in different regions in the world. So I like how it is coordinated this way. I joined halfway, noticed that there was inspirational leadership speeches. I believe the election is coming close. So congratulations and best wishes. I would be really happy to come back some other time. And today I was really impressed with some of the speeches and evaluation, and I really liked how simple the table topics were. So overall, a great meeting. Thank you for I actually invited myself, but thank you for letting me join.
Thank you, Jan, for the wonderful feedback. Yeah, do we have any other guest? Yeah, the second speaker got dropped off, and our installation officer is also not with us as of now. Yeah, with this, I would like to thank all the role players and the speakers and guests for having us today. With this, I would like to pass the control to our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Milind, to proceed further. Thank you.
Thank you, President Siva. And I officially announce closure of the meeting now.